This is Brittany.
And I'm Eric.
And welcome to Our Two Cents. Hello and welcome back with us.
What's up? Hello. Hey, B.
Hi.
What's up?
All right, we have another session of Our Two Cents. So this week we're actually going to talk about why some of us get the ring and others just get the hope of the ring. Now, when I say this, this isn't to put pressure on getting married. This is definitely for the ones that actually want to be married. Because there are some girls that don't have a desire to be married. I was actually one of them. It really wasn't a goal. But then I met the right person and then things changed. So I was like, now I'm interested in getting married. But prior to this, I honestly didn't. And that's okay too. So don't take this personal. And like I said, this is definitely for the girls that have been through it. You might be going through it right now. If you're wondering like, hey, I have some friends that are still single and they want to be married and it just never seems to work out. This is what that's for.
Yep. And I'm just, from a guy's perspective, I never led a girl on to think that, unless I wanted to be with her, unless I really wanted to be with her, I didn't lead that on. Some guys do. And unfortunately, I knew there were some girls that I do, like, we kicked it, we dated, it was fun, but I just knew like there's no way. Like, it's never going to happen. And I'm not saying that to say that they weren't like a good person or they weren't worthy of being married.
They just weren't for you.
Yeah, it just wasn't going to be a marriage type thing.
Yeah, because you know what? Because when I say that it just wasn't for you, is because I feel like this is all about a preference thing.
Yeah.
I actually, on my Reddit, one of their favorite sayings that changed their life was that you could be the sweetest peach that is on that tree.
Right.
But not everybody likes peaches.
Ooh, okay.
So, and that just goes to say, like, what may not have worked out for you, what you may not like, another guy might be like, hey, like, that's my thing. Like, that's my game. So it's like and that goes to show for you ladies, like, just because that one's not working out, please go try another one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's the marriage and it could be such a touchy situation.
Yeah.
Because like during my player days, there were girls that certain girls just had certain things that I liked. Mm-hmm. And then it wasn't like an all around package. But some girls just, to me, didn't challenge me enough. They just kind of let me do whatever, and it was like, if you're doing that now, then when we get married, I'm going to be horrible. Yeah,
so you know what? Paul, hold on for that one.
Right.
Because there's actually a little segment that we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
Yes. So, first, I do want to throw out something that I found, because I'm always going out and looking, so that way we can see what science is saying to us and what people outside of ourselves are saying. And scientists say that for a man, that the best age to start a family is actually between 28 and 32.
Okay.
So their belief or their theory is that the chances of him wanting to get married after those ages start to slim down. Now, it doesn't mean that it's non-existent, but It definitely does start to slim down. Now, the crazy part is that once they get in their 40s, especially like mid-40s and later on, that they said that the chances of them wanting to get married or proposing are like 0 to none unless it's like really that girl.
Yeah.
Like for them, it's got to be, well, that woman. I can't say girl. It has to really be that woman.
Okay.
So like, and I was like kind of shocked by this because like, remember how I told you that the prime mating age,
right,
like for men is actually between 30 and 35. So it kind of, this is about them starting a family between, or wanting to, between the ages of 28 to 32. It kind of does make sense because like those are like your best effing years, you know?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. In fact, you know, Eddie Murphy said it best in what was it, Delirious? You know, the years, like when you 19, between 19 and 25, you got energy and you think you putting it down, and you know you might wear it out, but I don't know. It was like when I got in my 30s.
Yeah.
When I got in my 30s, I got that.
you got what you got now?
Yeah, I got that. I got that season, you know. That's what, and that's why for me it's just the best out the best around. I got that season now, and this is why girls be going crazy. Yeah. But anyway, that's another story. But you know, it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some girls just got certain, like with me, and I'm just speaking personally. There were girls that were really nice. Like, you know, she's dope, she working, she go to school, but they always displayed a trait that was like, ooh.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of traits.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily have to be bad. Yeah. But it was just something.
So pause, and then I'm going to let you continue right after I give this. Speaking of traits, 80% of men actually preferred women with quality character traits.
Right.
Versus her being really pretty.
Yeah.
80%, which is like, I don't know. I was kind of shocked that it was that high. I really was. Because men are kind of, so for me, when I think about y'all men brethren and things, when I think of you, I don't think highly. I really don't. So like to hear that 80% of you actually would prefer quality character traits versus her looking great is like really kind of surprised me, because like I know a lot of guys that's like, you know, she has to look a certain way, she has to do this, or she has to do that, you know what I'm saying, she has to present a certain way. So like I was actually shocked.
You say 80%?
80%. Over majority. Yeah.
Because maybe, now was that in the age bracket or was that just in?
There actually was no age bracket.
Okay.
So there actually.
Because when you're young, when you're a younger man, you like, man, I want that dime, I want that joint on my arm, and you don't consider a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't even. I just believe that those younger years, your mind isn't even wired to understand certain stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's just how I see it. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. So
but that's an interesting number.
So yeah. So 80. for you to say, you know, like, yeah, I can notice a trait and be like.
And then I know, and then I know a lot of women will like, well, if you notice something, why you keep it going? And when you're young and you're out there, it's like, why mess up a good thing?
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Like,
you know, like, why mess up a good thing?
If you because figured out,
it can change.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it don't change.
To me, certain traits don't change. I think you see certain things and you know that ain't changing.
Like, you know what? And I'll be real. Like, even in my marriage, when I was married, like young, there was a whole lot of stuff, but you be like, you know, maybe they'll grow out of it, you know, as we get older, maybe it'll stop. But sometimes some things just never, you know, evil don't die fast. So, or I'm not saying it's anybody's evil, but some things, some traits just don't die. And just to go back, like you could be kicking it with a girl, and it could be something that you like the girl, you might like the way she get busy in the bed, you know, you might like the way the conversations, but every time you go to the crib, the bathroom nasty, or it's dishes in the sink. I don't know. It seemed like really little stuff, But sometimes with men, our minds, them little things can add up. And I'm not saying that you got to be perfect.
No.
But you just got to. He has to be mature and ready. And a lot of people is trying to put this stuff together, and their minds ain't ready.
I do like that you said about how some guys just aren't mature enough, and I think a lot of us women, it's sometimes can be hard to wrap our brain around us being with someone that's not mature, because like you do like to pride yourself, or at least think that you're with someone that's grown and a mature man.
Right.
But in reality, as women, we mentally age and mature faster than you guys do, so we're usually ready for things that y'all aren't ready. And the sad part is, I think some guys think that they are ready for certain things until they get in it.
Yeah, you know what? As a man, that's always the case, because you know, when you're young and you're of age, you know, once you leave the nest, you like, you know, I got this. You think you're ready. You think that you can take on anything, but like I was saying, your mind. Mm-hmm. As much as you want to think that you're 19 to possibly 25 to possibly even 30-year-old mind is ready for certain things, it's not, unless you were raised, you know, culturally possibly on how to deal with this stuff. But like when you just don't know, you're too young. You're too young. You be thinking you got this, and you be like, yeah, I got the marriage, I got this, I got that. Your mind isn't wired, because you're still on explore mode.
Yeah.
You know, you're still on seek and destroy. That's what I like to call it. When you're young, you're still on seek and destroy mode. You are seeking out who you going. Like I said, when you're a guy, when you're a young man, sometimes you wake up like, damn, who am I going to get with today? Who going to give it up? You know, so you're on seek and destroy mode. That's what you're on. It is what it is. You're on seek and destroy mode. And your mind isn't ready for that kind of, you know, so that's a big commitment, you know. You ain't ready for that kind of commitment yet. As much as you think you are. But you're really not. And that's cool. That's not. When it's not cool is when you lead somebody on to think that you're ready for that, and you still want to play the field. Another story. Anyway.
So let's fast forward into a guy's life, and he's matured, and he's ready.
Right.
He's like, okay, I'm ready to pull this trigger. The research that I actually did find, they said that it's timing. They said because once a man is ready to get married, if the woman in his life is right for him, he'll get married then.
Right.
But they also said that at the same time, if he realizes that he's with a woman that he's not, that he's like, I can't marry her, that's usually, you know, you see like, oh, you know, I left her after this X amount of years or whatever. Or the even worst part, to me anyway, is that they know they don't want to be with you, but they don't want to hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
So you stay in this relationship.
Back to that again.
Yeah. It's like, so you stay in this relationship, and it's like, hey, you could have just told me this a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I also want the person that didn't know that they, you know, that if you don't know that you're not ready, or you're like, I can't see myself being with this person forever, just go ahead and go. And on the flip side of that, if you're with somebody that's like that and you keep hanging around, it's not getting any better. So now it comes to the point, like, who's really worse?
That, you know what? That used to be always one of my biggest pieces of advice. Like, if a slap start, if at first it start with a push and then a slap, then a close slap, and like, yo, it don't get better.
Yeah. Like
it normally doesn't. I'm not a scientist, and I can't say because I haven't done that research. So, but just from experience, research, it usually doesn't get any better. And then even in a relationship, if it's going south, you know, I can't speak for everybody, because there's some people who stuck it out and it eventually worked out, and that's great. So I don't know.
Now here's something else too. And on Reddit, there were some people that had commented to me to kind of back a little bit of this stuff up. It was interesting, actually, that they said if you're already like living with like a man, they feel like it decreases your chances by like 50% of getting married. I'm kind of here nor there on that in particular, because like I know people that have lived together for a long time and still got married. So I'm not really worried about that.
Yeah.
But what gets me is like that if he still has other things to accomplish,
right?
Like if he wants a promotion, he wants a certain job, he's like, I really want to get this house, I want to get this car, that he'll go ahead and he'll stick with you, especially if you're supportive.
Right.
He'll stay around and everything like that. But then once he checks all his boxes and stuff like that, 9 out of 10 he's going to want to go. And they said that it's mainly because that girl didn't require anything. You just kind of just like, yeah, you were supportive and everything, right, but you just didn't require him to do anything else for you or require anything else out of him. And they said this is why in the next relationship, because now they know what to do, they know what they're looking for, that they might propose within the matter of months to that other girl.
And you know what? And once again, it comes to that, as I was saying earlier, that challenge factor.
Yeah. And that's definitely what it says. I actually found something that if he becomes successful, he'll want someone that challenges him all the time, because he's going to want to achieve more.
Right.
Versus the one that accepted you when you were broke and it was like, oh no, like that's okay. You didn't really push him to get out the door to not be broke.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, and that's not saying that you're doing something wrong, because of course, you want to accept your partner and everything else, and it's okay to be like, hun, like it's all right that you don't have any money, but you still should go do something about not having money.
Right.
Because I'm like, it takes a brave mofo to just lay in the bed broke.
and hoping for the best.
Like you gotta be brave and you got some courage if you can lay in the bed.
And you know what? It's like in our relationship. Like, we had our broke times. We had our times when things just really just fell apart for me. And you were there. But it wasn't like you were there and you were feeling sorry for me.
Yeah.
You were there like, hey, I'm going to get you back. We going to get you back on your feet. Mm-hmm. We going to get you, with the injury, and we going to get you rehabbed, and we going to get your mind right. But you got to get out here and get it. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not about to sit on no sinking ship. Nope. Just to be with you, just because we just happen to be in a relationship or however the situation go. And I believe that's what happens a lot of times too. And sometimes people just stick it out because they just happen to be together, or they get used to being with that person, and then the guy's like, ugh, and then somebody else come along and they're that challenge, they got that spark, whatever. And it's unfortunate because I don't believe you should just put in that much time and you knew, like, I knew I wasn't going to marry. Because I had friends that was like that. Was with being in a relationship, man, I just been with her for so long, dog. But man, I knew I wasn't going to marry. And then something happened and they break up, and then you meet this one girl, and mm-hmm. and within that year he already on that knee.
Yep.
And and it'd be so confusing to a lot of young ladies. It'd be confusing to me, mm-hmm. but I haven't really done research on it. This is just crazy, mm-hmm. and I know some of y'all be.
So and it is a shame that they get hurt, and it's also a shame that you actually become the convenient woman.
Yeah.
You were convenient for him at that time in his life when he was in need. You were convenient when he was going through something. You were convenient to help him get through a certain stage within his life. And then he's moved on. And that can really leave you feeling really used up. Like, gosh, especially when you see like he's like doing all this other stuff for like the next girl, especially if he's doing, and not even just a ring. We don't even have to go that far yet, because sometimes guys will do things that they never did for the previous girl. And you can be sitting there looking like, what?
and you know what? Sometimes, and I'm just speaking from experience, it'd be girls that be like some really cool, that y'all down, but then they have no ambition. It's like, what is it after that? Like, yo, we doing our thing, we cool, we together. But it's like, damn, am I gonna be the one stuck taking care of you forever, and you not gonna do nothing but just, cause stuff get old, shit get old after a while, just to put that out there. I could think of 100 and some odd reasons why a guy might not work out for you, and then he meet the next person and then it work out, and you sitting there like, well, what is it about me? Maybe he just wasn't a guy, I don't know.
Well, here's something else too, that I saw. They was like that if you don't mention anything about marriage, or if y'all talk about it, but it's like kind of passively, not necessarily about you two getting married.
Right.
They were like, if you don't give him the notion or mention that you actually want to be married, they'll assume that you don't want to be married, because men are so simple. Yep. So that's like another reason why you may not be getting a ring. Like, you may actually check all of those boxes.
Yeah.
You might actually be the girl that he wants to be with, but he's so dumb, he may not realize you really want to marry him.
Or he might have a mentality, yo, I thought you was cool with the way it was.
Yeah, which is I've seen that a lot.
You know what I mean? And then like sometimes the female's idea of pressure in the marriage can be kind of nagging, like, you just don't get it, instead of somebody just saying, listen, we've been together for this long years and I expect to be married by, because I know you got friends. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely have some friends that's like, hey, I've been with you for 2 years, if you don't give me this ring, I'm gone.
Game over.
They're like, I'm gone. This is what's
game
important
over.
to me.
The challenge and letting it be known versus trying to let them figure it out, because let's be real, like, as guys, sometimes we just don't figure it out. It's what with the men's mind, sometimes we got work, we trying to get this career, we trying to get this paper, we trying to get these bills paid, we trying to take care of this family, and then on top of that, a woman wants you to figure her out.
Well, you know what, to me, and this is just me, I feel like that's bullshit too. Like, because women, there's a lot of us to do all of that and take care of the kids. So, like, to me, it becomes on, am I important enough to you? Is the relationship important enough? Because to me, I don't care if you're paying bills. I don't care if you're going out and doing all of these extra things. But if I'm not important enough, you.
And here's some real if she important enough, he's going to go out his way.
He will.
He's going to do I'm telling you.
Like, he'll go out his way.
Like, it goes back to, like, he's with that girl and they might be together and and he might love her, and then you meet this other one that's like the one, and you going out, like, you're going out. So trust me, listen, if you important enough, don't let nobody tell you ain't enough time in the day, if you're important, if he love you enough, he gonna figure it out.
So, but you know what, I think a lot of women, I think we get ourselves caught up in this because of societal norms.
Yeah.
The pressure for women to get married versus the non-pressure for men to get married. Like, when it's in reference to a girl, if you even seen hugging another boy, especially if you're young and y'all are kids, they're like, oh, well, when is the wedding happening? You know what I'm saying? and it's a joke then, but shortly as you get older, that joke becomes serious.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Versus the little boy, when you're around your dad and the uncles and the friends and things, they're talking about your mom in reference as the ball and chain. They're talking about your aunt in reference as being like the old lady.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it makes you be like, I don't want to be married to that. And it really does. Like, so, I mean, and I'm not a boy, but I can only imagine the effect that has versus when you're a girl that's around her mom and her friends and the aunts and sisters. They're like, oh my gosh, like, I can't wait to be married. And your mom's like, I can't wait for you to get married, because some people already have their weddings planned by like the age of 13. There's some women that have already, I've thought of everything.
Oh, wow.
And that's for real. And I think that it's the drastic societal difference within the norms, within the gender difference.
Okay.
That's what I really feel like that it is, because for us girls, we're looked upon to be married. And for y'all men, if y'all don't get married, you're like, he over there doing it.
He doing his thing.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not married and you have a business and, you know, you got the house, you got the car, you're always traveling, you seem to be viewed as like the guy that's the man.
Right. But
when you're a girl and you're single, you have a business, and you don't care about getting married, oh, well, she's a bitch. Well, she gotta be lonely. And it's like, and they're usually not. They're like, I'm not lonely. I have plenty of friends, and I get to do whatever I want. But, you know, but they're like, she's gotta be lonely because she ain't got a man. And I think it all comes back down to the gender difference.
Okay. There you have it, the gender difference.
All right. So we're going to close up. Okay. But before we do, I did want to read a couple comments from my Reddit group. They are very colorful. I asked them, you know, like what it is. Why do some girls get the ring while others just get the hope of getting a ring? I have someone that honestly was like, some girls are meant to be wives and some are just meant to be girlfriends. I was like, oh, just killing all hope.
PFSP.
Killing all hope.
I hate to say it, but I've known a few PFSPs. Permanent side piece. I'm sorry.
That's alright. It's alright. Then there was actually there were some interesting ones. That there was a comment. This lady was actually just mentioning, you know, like some of us just put up with men that half-ass.
Yeah.
And she said that we do too much for men that half-ass in hopes of that he'll change or that it'll get better. And she was like, and deep down we know it's not, but it really is purely just a hope. And she was like, you know, and then when it doesn't work out, he does go off and marry the next one. But that's because she was like, he has realized what he's done.
Right.
So he changes himself to get with the next one. And it's like, gosh, that's even worse. Now, to add to that, someone added a comment to that comment, and it was a gentleman.
Right.
Basically backing up what she was saying. And like, he's like, you know, this is interesting because I actually did this. He was like, I was indecisive for years. He was actually in a relationship for 5 years.
Ooh.
And he said he was actually waiting for the moment to dawn on him. His exact words. I was
That's
waiting for it to dawn on me. But to hear someone really say that, it's like, what? He was like, I was literally waiting for the time to dawn, and he was like, and time went on, and he said it never came.
Dawned. It never dawned.
And he said that he eventually just got bored of just waiting around to see if he was going to pop the question, because he said at that point he was ready to be married. So he was at that time in his life where he was ready to be married.
He just wasn't ready to be married to her.
No. I don't think it was a fact of him being ready to marry her. It's just he didn't want to marry her.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in that case, he just didn't. It really wasn't a ready. He just, because if you're waiting for the time to dawn, the moment to dawn on you, that's you're waiting to see if there's something in her that you really can't live without.
Yeah.
You know? So, or at least that's how I took it.
I don't know. With me, that sound like playing the scratch off with the hopes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And this is him. So imagine that girl. But imagine the girl that's in this relationship, and she doesn't know he's waiting for the moment to dawn. And he's actually ready, and he's ready to get married. He's like, I'm waiting for the moment to dawn on me to pop the question. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you gotta wait for that, he's like, I just knew. And then they did break up. And he said, and his next girlfriend, now fiance.
Quick. That was, wow.
He said she came over one night. She stayed the night. She stayed the next night. And all the nights thereafter. And he said within the first month, he knew for a fact that he wanted to marry her. And within 2 months, he did propose to her. He said, this literally happened to me. He said, I'm one of these guys. And he said, and he, hold on, let me bring it up so that way I make sure that I'm not telling I'm not telling stories.
Wow. So it's that quick, huh?
Yeah.
And she ain't need a place to live or nothing, huh?
And he said that even now that they've been through some things, they've had some problems, and he said he still can't imagine not being with her. And he said that that he loves her more and more, and he can't think of living a single day without her. He actually mentioned this a couple times throughout it here, that how much he can't be without her. So, like, there was definitely something that he felt like he didn't get out of the last relationship. And, you know, and it's just sad that it took him 5 years to figure out that there was something that you didn't get. It's like, cause, and then I feel bad for that girl.
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad for her. Cause it's like cause this is from him.
She been putting in that work.
Yeah.
You know, she been sticking it out, probably been doing a little laundry, cooking food. Giving
up the good booty.
Thank God they don't have no children together.
Thank goodness for that.
Because that could have been a
Yeah.
good big part of the decision. Like, I don't have anything that's gonna hold me back.
Yeah.
You know, my guys, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's just crazy. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for next week.
Yes, please.
If you're new, majority of you are, because we did just start this channel. We do post on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern time. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, and as always, we have these conversations all the time.
Yeah,
like,
we do.
This isn't a YouTube thing. Like, we literally will sit here and talk about life and politics for hours. So, you know, if you could find somebody that you can vibe with like that, keep them. Anything outside of that is greed, and it really is. I learned it, and I'm happy that I learned it. I'm happy that I went through it, because now I definitely appreciate what I have. And sometimes it takes for you to go through some crazy stuff to realize, like, do you even appreciate what you got? So, but I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm Eric, this is Brittany. Thank you for joining us on Our 2 Cents, and we will see you next week.